Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily English with Lily and Leo. I'm Lily, and today we have a topic that is honestly a little personal for both of us. If you're new here, subscribe right now. It's free and it means a lot. New episode every week. Let's go.
And I'm Leo. Okay, so I need to start with something embarrassing. On the way here today, I was scrolling through Instagram, just mindlessly scrolling. And at some point, I looked up and I had no idea where I was. I had walked past my street. I just completely missed it. So yes, today we're talking about phones, screens, social media, and why we literally cannot stop.
That is honestly the most perfect way to open this episode. Because that moment, looking up and realizing you have no idea how much time has passed or where you are, I think every single person listening knows that feeling. It's almost like waking up from a small sleep.
Exactly. And the strange part is you didn't even decide to do it. You didn't sit down and think, I would now like to spend 40 minutes on my phone. It just happened. Your hand picked it up without asking your brain first. And then you look at your weekly screen time report and you feel genuinely surprised. How did that number get so high?
How bad was it?
Let's say somewhere between this is fine and I need to rethink my life. Somewhere in that range. I use it for work. I use it for sport news. I use it for music when I run. But I also use it for a lot of nothing. And the nothing is the part I want to change.
That's the part I find most interesting, the automaticness of it. When I was working as a programmer, before my burnout, before everything changed, I was already on a screen all day for work, 8, 9 hours. And then I would come home and immediately pick up my phone. Not because I wanted anything specific, not because I was bored, just because that's what my hands did next.
Like a muscle memory. Pick up, unlock, open app. No thought required.
None at all. And here's the thing, I didn't enjoy it most of the time. I'd scroll through posts and feel kind of flat afterwards. But the next evening, I'd do the same thing. It took me a long time to understand that I wasn't doing it because it felt good. I was doing it because it was the easiest thing available. And my brain, when it's tired, always chooses the easiest thing.
That's a really honest way to put it. And I think the companies behind these apps know this very well. They design everything, the colors, the sounds, the notifications, the way the content never ends, specifically to match how a tired brain works. They want to be the default choice, the path of least resistance. They spend millions of euros making sure of that.
It's not a coincidence. The infinite scroll, the autoplay, the little red dot on the icon, none of that is accidental design. All of it is there to keep you just a few minutes longer than you planned. And a few minutes, several times a day, adds up to hours.
And hours add up to your life, basically. Okay, that sounds dramatic, but think about it. 4 hours a day is 28 hours a week. That's more than a full working day every single week spent on a screen. I checked my own numbers recently, and I was not proud at all.
What was your number?
I would rather not say. What about you? Has yours improved?
A lot, actually. 2 years ago, it was probably 4 hours on a bad day. Now it's closer to 1, sometimes less. But that change didn't happen automatically. I had to build it deliberately. And the reason I even tried was burnout. When I finally left my programming job and started paying attention to how I actually felt day to day, I realized I was using my phone to avoid feeling things rather than to actually rest.
Can you say more about that? Because I think a lot of people use their phones that way without realizing it.
Sure. So when you're exhausted or stressed or anxious, real rest feels hard. Going for a walk, reading a book, calling someone, those things require a little bit of effort and presence. But picking up your phone and scrolling? Zero effort. Your brain gets just enough stimulation to stop you from having to sit with the uncomfortable feeling, but it doesn't actually go away. You look up an hour later and it's still there. Plus, now you've wasted an hour.
That's what people call numbing. Using something to avoid a feeling rather than process it. And the tricky thing is, it looks like relaxation from the outside. You're lying on the sofa, you look calm, but inside nothing is actually resting.
Nothing is resting at all. Your brain is still receiving input constantly. Tiny little dopamine hits every few seconds. A new image, new video, a new comment. It never gets to go quiet, and going quiet is actually what the brain needs to recover. That's what real rest looks like.
So what did you actually do differently? Because I think people hear this and they think, yes, okay, I should use my phone less. And then they pick up their phone to Google how to use their phone less.
That is extremely accurate. Okay, 3 things that actually worked for me. First, I removed the social media apps from my phone. Not deleted my accounts, just removed the apps. So to check anything, I have to open a browser, type in the address, log in. It takes about 30 seconds more than before, and 30 seconds is enough to stop the automatic behavior because that behavior runs on speed. Slow it down, and most of the time, the impulse just disappears.
That's clever. You're not relying on willpower. You're just creating a little bit of friction. Willpower runs out. Friction doesn't.
Exactly. Second thing, I decided the first hour of my morning is screen-free. No phone, no laptop, nothing. I wake up, I run, I make tea, I sit with my thoughts for a bit, and starting the day that way completely changes how the rest of the day feels. You're not immediately filling your head with other people's news and opinions and photos before you've even decided how you feel yourself.
I do the exact opposite. My alarm goes off, I snooze it, and then when I open my eyes, the first thing I do is pick up my phone. Football scores, news, messages, Instagram. By the time I actually get up, I've already consumed maybe 40 minutes of content, and I've made 0 decisions. I've just received things.
And then you wonder why you feel a bit scattered by mid-morning. There's a third thing too, and honestly, this one surprised me the most.
Go on.
I stopped charging my phone next to my bed. I bought an actual alarm clock, the old-fashioned kind, and now my phone charges in the other room, and I sleep so much better. I didn't realize how often I was picking up the phone at midnight or 1 in the morning because I woke up and it was right there.
Okay, that one I genuinely need to do. I know my phone being next to my bed is a problem. I just keep not solving it because the solution requires buying an alarm clock, and somehow that feels very difficult.
It costs about €8. Just do it.
I know, €8. I have no excuse. Right. This week, alarm clock, done. Okay, we've been quite critical of phones this whole conversation, and I want to balance that because I also genuinely love technology in many real ways. I use it to watch football when I'm traveling. I use it to message my friends from school who live in different cities now. Last week, I video called my mom while I was walking through the park. That was genuinely lovely. Technology makes those things possible, and I don't want to pretend otherwise.
Of course. And I think that's the key distinction, the difference between using technology on purpose and having technology use you. When I choose to call a friend, watch a specific show I've been looking forward to, read an article I'm genuinely interested in, those things feel good. They give something back. The problem is the other kind, the mindless, purposeless, just because it's their kind.
Intentional versus automatic. That's such a clean way to think about it. And honestly, gaming is a good example of intentional screen time for me. I play video games in the evening sometimes after basketball when I'm winding down, and I don't feel bad about it at all. I'm engaged, I'm making decisions, I'm sometimes playing with friends online. It's active. It's completely different from lying on the sofa scrolling through short videos where I can't even remember what I watched.
That active versus passive distinction is important. Watching a film is active, you're following a story. Having a video call is active, you're having a real conversation. Playing a game is active. But the endless feed, that's just input with no engagement. And research actually shows it tends to make mood worse, not better. You feel slightly more empty after an hour of it, not more relaxed.
Which is wild. You do it to feel better, and you feel worse. But you keep doing it because it's easier than anything else. It's such a strange trap. And I think about this especially with young people, kids who have grown up with this from age 8 or 10. My attention span sometimes feels shorter than it used to be. I find it harder to sit with a book for an hour than I did 5 years ago, and I'm an adult who grew up without a smartphone. Imagine starting with one at age 10.
That thought is genuinely quite unsettling, though I also try not to be too dramatic about it because every generation has had some version of this fear about new technology. Television, radio, even novels. People worried about all of them. But I do think the phone is different because it's personal, it's constant, and it's designed specifically to be as absorbing as possible. It's not passive like television. It responds to you. It learns what keeps you there.
It builds a profile of your habits, your interests, your weak moments, and uses all of that to keep you scrolling. which is a slightly frightening thought when you say it plainly. Okay, I think we should do vocabulary before we go even deeper into this rabbit hole.
Yes, 5 phrasal verbs, all about technology. They are in the description of Daily English with Lily and Leo. Find them, save them, add them to your flashcards. These are all extremely common in real modern English. Let's go.
Number 1, to scroll through. It means to move through content on a screen by swiping, looking at one thing after another. You scroll through your feed, your messages, the news. For example, I was just scrolling through TikTok and somehow an hour disappeared. This is probably the most used tech phrase in everyday English right now.
Number 2, to log in. It means to enter your username and password to access an account. I need to log in to check my email. Or, I logged into the app and had 14 notifications waiting. The opposite is to log out. You log out when you're finished. Both are used constantly in everyday life.
Number 3, to switch off. 2 meanings, and both are really useful. Literally, to turn a device off. Switch off your phone during the meeting. But also figuratively, to stop thinking about work or stress and mentally relax. After a busy day, I find it really hard to switch off. My brain just keeps going. That second meaning is very common in spoken English.
Number 4, to cut down on. It means to reduce something, to do it less but not stop completely. I'm trying to cut down on screen time before bed. Or, she cut down on social media and immediately slept better. This is a very honest and realistic phrasal verb. It doesn't expect you to quit completely, just to do it a bit less. Very natural in conversations about habits.
And number 5, to zone out. It means to lose focus and stop paying attention, usually because something has absorbed you completely or your mind has drifted. I was watching videos on my phone and I just completely zoned out. 2 hours passed that I have no memory of most of it. Or, sorry, I zoned out. What did you just say? Very natural in everyday conversation.
5 phrasal verbs. Scroll through, log in, switch off, cut down on, zone out. All in the description. Don't just read them. Write a sentence with each one about your own life. That's how they actually stick.
Okay, grammar. Phrasal verbs, because we've been using them all episode, and I want to explain how they work. A phrasal verb is a verb plus a particle, usually a preposition or adverb, that together means something completely different from the individual words. Give up doesn't mean to give something upward, it means to stop trying. Look up doesn't mean to raise your eyes, it means to search for information. The meaning is new, you have to learn it as a whole unit.
There are thousands of phrasal verbs in English, which sounds scary, but you only need the common ones, and especially the ones that appear in topics you actually talk about. Tech, sport, food, work. Start there. Learn 10 phrasal verbs in a topic you care about, and they will stick with you because they feel relevant and real.
Okay, grammar rule. Separable versus inseparable phrasal verbs. Some phrasal verbs can be split. You can put the object between the verb and the particle. Switch off is separable. Switch off your phone or switch your phone off. Both are fine. But, and this is important, if you use a pronoun, it must go in the middle. Switch it off. Never switch off it. That sounds completely unnatural.
Inseparable phrasal verbs stay together always. Zone out. I zoned out. She zoned out. The object never goes in the middle. Scroll through is the same. I scrolled through my feed. Never I scrolled my feed through. Cut down on is inseparable too. Cut down on sugar, not cut sugar down on. As you read and listen more in English, you start to feel which sounds right. It becomes natural.
Quick game to practice. I describe a situation, you pick the right phrasal verb. Situation 1. After a long, stressful week, you finally have a free Saturday. You want to stop thinking about work completely and just relax. What do you need to do?
Switch off. I really need to switch off this weekend. I haven't managed to switch off properly in weeks. That figurative meaning is perfect for that situation, mentally disconnecting from everything demanding.
Exactly. Situation 2, you're at dinner with a friend. They're telling you a story, but you start thinking about something else, and suddenly you realize you've missed the last 2 minutes of what they said.
You zoned out. Sorry, I zoned out for a second. Can you say that again? It happens to everyone, especially when your brain is tired or you've been on your phone too much that day.
The irony of zoning out while someone talks to you because you've been overstimulated by your phone all day. That's very modern and very real. Okay, situation 3. You want to spend less time on social media before bed, but you're not ready to delete the apps entirely. What are you going to do?
Cut down on it. I'm going to try to cut down on scrolling before bed. Even 30 minutes less makes a real difference to sleep quality. Start small and see how you feel.
The alarm clock I promised to buy is waiting. Okay, so to sum up the grammar, phrasal verbs have their own meaning. Learn them as units. Some are separable, some are inseparable. Pronouns always go in the middle with separable ones. And the best way to learn them is in context, in real sentences about your real life.
Before we finish, motivation. Because every episode we say this and we genuinely believe it. You don't need a big dramatic change. You don't need to delete all your apps today and throw your phone into a river. You just need one small thing. 1%. Move the charging cable. Put the phone face down during dinner. Try 20 minutes of reading before bed instead of scrolling. One thing done consistently is worth more than 10 things done once.
And actually, I want to say one more thing. I think we're quite hard on ourselves about screens. Like, we feel guilty every time we pick up the phone, and that guilt becomes its own kind of stress, which makes you want to pick up the phone again. It's a whole loop. So the goal isn't perfection. The goal is just a little more awareness, noticing when you're scrolling on autopilot and asking, do I actually want to be doing this right now? That question alone can change a lot.
I love that. No guilt, just awareness. Okay, we want to hear from you. What's your relationship with screens like? Do you feel okay about your screen time, or is it something you'd like to change? Leave a comment using one of today's phrasal verbs. Scroll through, log in, switch off, cut down on, zone out. Show us you know how to use them. We read every comment.
Our 5 words are in the description. Go and save them. And subscribe to Daily English with Lily and Leo if you haven't yet. Free, weekly, and we really do put our hearts into every episode. See you next week. Lily, are you going to judge me if I check my phone on the tram home?
I'll know. Bye, everyone.